So this is going to be a little bit of a rant video, and it comes from the previous video where I was talking about we was going to be introducing a new piece of equipment, which is this Kubota M5091. And these are not cheap purchases. And I had mentioned in that previous video to pick a dealer and a manufacturer or supplier that would stick behind you. And so when this whole adventure started with the tractor, it actually started prior to buying the excavator and, getting into bigger farming. And I went through every manufacturer, looked. We didn't go with Case because in this class tractor, Case is just not heavy enough. I didn't go with Massey Ferguson because I know a couple of guys that's had issues with them. The clutches are real sensitive. And I definitely, not trying to knock the blue tractors, but I didn't go with them because I hadn't had the best of luck with them in the past. And I may have just had a bad one, but I didn't want to go down that road again with the amount of money that we were going to be spending on this piece of equipment, because this is going to have to last our farm for several years. And it'll stay on the farm for the rest of its life. And the only thing that'll happen is we'll upgrade to bigger equipment. We're not going to look at failures and options. We're just going to keep building bigger and better and try to get to the point where the farm's generating enough income for a full-time wage for me and the wife. And that's just what we'll do when we get to that point. Right now, it's just a add-on. But getting back to the situation at hand, the narrowing down the manufacturers, we looked at Kubotas real hard because we like the excavator so far. They've got a great lineup and they're very affordable for what you're getting. Not cheap, but you're not paying for everything as an accessory. And I talked to some old farmers and they said if we was going to get serious about farming, to buy John Deere. And that's the path we went down. We went up, put a purchase order in for a tractor. I actually called the dealer. Dealer's great. And I'm not going to mention the dealer because, most of this is not their fault. We called the dealer, said, hey, this is what we're looking for. At the time, we was looking for about a 75 horsepower tractor or below because I didn't want to deal with the DEF fluid. And I got thinking about, I didn't want to limit myself because I was trying to avoid the DEF fluid because eventually I'm going to have to buy that bullet anyways. But we'd called, we asked about a 5075E. And, that's their economy version. Something's affordable. Right. Not really super affordable, but, it's a big tractor and you're paying baseline price and getting into that tractor. And that's what we have to do. It's not that we're trying to cheap out, but we got to keep it affordable so we don't bankrupt the farm. And so they had a 75. I'm assuming it was promised out. And I said, well, how quick can you have me another one? And we was trying to get our fall planting in before all this rain and getting everything muddied up. And they said, well, it's going to be, late November, December on the 75. But we can get you a 90 horsepower first week of November. I said, well, if you can get the first week of November, that'll do. And we put purchase order in for the tractor. This is, beginning mid-September, and we was excited. We put the order in, and in the meantime, I started hunting for a new mower or mower conditioner, baler, tedder, rake, all that good stuff. We found a good deal on a John Deere I think it's a 459 standard baseline model baler. Come with bell monitor system, everything. That's what I like about their balers is, and similar models have the same monitor, or not the same monitor, but monitor that keeps track of how many bells have been put through that machine. I bought this one off an old man, and it had 1,221 bells put through it, which is, I'll do that next year. So for a 2014, that's not too many bells been put through that baler. So we bought that from an individual, and then I got to looking at the mower conditioners to speed up, make short work, especially if we was upgrading to a 90 horse class tractor, 100 horse class tractor. Started looking at the mower conditioners and wider cut widths and being able to dry the hay down quicker. So, long story of it short, we purchased a S250 John Deere mower conditioner that is new lineup to John Deere this year, and it happened to be sitting on the dealer lot. The only one that they was aware of in the States. There may be more out there, but as far as this dealer went, and they're a very large dealer, it was the only one that they was aware of anywhere in the vicinity of 500 plus miles away from us. So we tied it up real quick, and we've still got to pick it up from the dealer. So the day that I signed the paperwork on the cutter, the dealer called me and said, hey, we've got bad news. Because of the strike at John Deere, your tractor's been caught up in that. And up to this point, I've been told that, the dealer's got limited information, I'm being told, and John Deere only feeds them so much information. And I don't know if that's true. But I'm taking their word for it because they've been pretty honest so far. But my delivery date still showed beginning November, and they said that my tractor wasn't caught up in that strike that John Deere had. So you're sure you've seen that in the news or newspaper. And so when they called, they said, the bad news is your tractor's not going to be ready till, close to Christmas. And we was already late with our fall planting, and we couldn't go that late. We added a lot of acres of lease ground this year for the 2022 season, and I need that tractor to work that ground and get it prepared for hay and row crops and everything that we're going to be doing next year. So that timeline didn't work out for me. If I knew that before I'd bought the cutter, I would have canceled the cutter right then and there too. I was pretty hot, to say the least. That seemed like last minute, and I'd been waiting 2 months to find out the tractor was going to be, even later, and put the farm belly up right off the bat just because they couldn't get it to me because of the strike. That has left a very bad taste in my mouth for John Deere. To the point I'm considering selling the cutter, and I'm sure I can get my money back out of it. And even if I got to take a loss, I'll take a little bit of loss selling it. Maybe. I don't know. And then the baler, we got a really good buy on it, and I'm half tempted to sell that baler because I don't want to be representing John Deere if they can't take care of their farmers. Because regardless of the size of the farmer, whether it be small like we are right now, or a mega farm, I wouldn't wouldn't be as bothered by it if they told us sooner and said, hey, by the way, your tractor's not built. It is caught up in the strike and it's going to be late. I wouldn't have ordered the tractor then. So I'm very frustrated with John Deere. And I've never owned anything John Deere, and we was getting ready to buy everything John Deere. Baler, tractor, cutter, tedder, rake, disc, because I like it to look decent. If I'm buying new equipment, I want it to be matching. I don't want to be running a little bit of everything. And that's just a aesthetic point for me. And I was excited about starting a new adventure and going with John Deere as a manufacturer. But we may end up running this equipment depending on, I can't take too big of a loss on this equipment we bought from John Deere because it took a lot to make that money. So we may end up running it for this season coming, but next year may be the only season that we run that equipment. And it'd be just so we can get some of our money back out of running it before we trade it in. So originally, and I kicked myself, hindsight's 2020. I kicked myself in the rear end for not going with Kubota to start with. I'm not sponsored. Kubota don't help us out financially whatsoever. It just happens to be the equipment we're buying. Of course, they gave me a hat to go with when we bought the excavator. We've got a zero-turn mower from them, an excavator, and this tractor now. And I should have known to go with them on the tractor to start with because I'd had the tractor, a week after I ordered it. So when this happened with John Deere, I canceled the tractor. Well, before I canceled the tractor, I called Kubota and made sure that we could get a tractor because all these stupid supply chain issues, supposedly. So I called the salesman I've been dealing with in Chattanooga and said, hey, this is what I'm looking for. How quick can you have it to my farm? He said, let me go here and check. Took down the upgrades that I wanted to put on the machine, which of course was not anywhere near as many as I was going to have to add to the John Deere. Everything with John Deere is an accessory. I'm surprised, the paint's not an accessory after getting into ordering stuff with them. And that's fine, Danny, that's their business model, and you're paying for the green paint. But like mirrors and things like that was add-ons. This tractor come with the mirrors because you're buying a cab. And a lot of things this tractor come with that the John Deere didn't offer as far as it comes stock with the tractor. But getting back to the point at hand, I called my Kubota dealer, and he called me back. This was on a Thursday. He called me back and said, we can have it to you next week. We got two of them sitting out here, one of them sold, and it was the M5091. Fit the bill for everything we're looking for our first, big tractor as far as starter tractor for our farm operation. And I said, that'd be fine. I said, I'll come down tomorrow or Saturday and look at it and make sure it fits the bill and what I'm wanting. He sent me some pictures of it in text, and I liked it, so go ahead and start getting it ready and getting paperwork ready on it. They delivered this tractor the following Monday. And that was with adding all the accessories, which wasn't a ton, but several hours of work putting these accessories in here. They appreciated us as a customer and took care of us. So they got it to us that Monday, and it's been working since then. I'm filming this on Thursday because Monday I bush hogged, Tuesday I bush hogged another hay field, getting it prepped. It was overgrown, and then I disked yesterday and seeded today and fertilized. But with that being said, I should have went with Kubota first. And time will tell if it was a good decision or not. But I am pretty confident that it will be. It is a very stout tractor. And I'm not just praising it because what we bought. I'm hoping to God that it's a good tractor. And we ain't spent all this money for it to, not last. But I know several guys that have Kubotas. And they really enjoy them. So I guess the rant part of this video would be my experience with John Deere and, how bad of a taste it's left in my mouth. In the end, John Deere kind of failed us and led us on. And I'll remember that from now on. And I'll tell everybody I can tell about it. That may not be their standard model, and I get that their employees was on strike, but, it put us in a hard spot. And I don't like being put in a hard spot. So going forward, I can't say we will never have John Deere on the farm, but right now the plan is everything be Kubota. And from that, initially here, this size class tractor is around, with all the options, everything, you're looking about $70,000. And we got the K-TAC insurance, which is I hadn't had to use it, but from my understanding, is a great investment. $250 deductible, and it covers stupid, from my understanding. But anything goes wrong with tractor, God forbid, baler catch on fire and burn tractor and baler up to, the tractor's covered. They'll bring you a brand new one for $250. And if they don't have that same model, they'll give you the next, one that's upgraded if it's several years down the road. And that K-TAC insurance lasts the length of the loan. And so on, this one we pushed out as far as we can. As far as we could with 0% interest, which right now is 60 months. You can go, I think, all the way up to 84 months, but that's like a 2% interest. And 72 months is 0.99% interest. So we stick with the 0% interest and use their money for a minute and just pay it back a little bit over time. But with that being said, this is our first big tractor purchase. And I get, a $70,000 purchase or $100,000 purchase, whatever it be, is not a dent in the bucket for John Deere. And it's not even pocket change. But if we go the places we're planning on going, we could end up having millions of dollars of equipment. And it don't take long to get to that point. You get a good sized tractor, baler, and all your equipment you pull in the hayfield, it's $250,000 sitting there just in equipment. And that's running the second tractor, of course. But, in the near future, we're going to need a combine, which Kubota don't make, but we'll go to another manufacturer. I don't think Kubota makes a combine, but we won't be going to John Deere for a combine. I can tell you that right now. Unless something changes. Because I'd put a lot of faith and was really excited about, the venture with John Deere. But anyways, I need to quit ranting about that. But long story of the short, the people that I talk to and what we end up purchasing and the people watching these videos, it could be, a change for them, in consideration of what they're buying. I know going forward, if I'm looking at equipment and it comes down between Kubota and John Deere, Kubota's going to get the business hand down. It will take a while if I consider any more John Deere equipment. But with that being said, that's what I was, hinting at. I was pretty frustrated that day because that was the day the bomb got dropped on me as far as, we weren't going to have a tractor till closer to Christmas, and we'd already been waiting 2 months for it, and we was going to miss our fall plant dates and all of our preparation for hay fields and liming and, bush hogging and getting everything ready and overseeding or drilling seed that we plan on making this fall. And as of today, the 4th of November or 5th, whatever it is, all of our bush hogging's done and all of our seeding's done and disking's done for the year because of Kubota. And if it wasn't for Kubota stepping up and taking care of us so quick, we would be in trouble next year as far as the farm side of it goes. Because I'd already made some promises that I'd take some old junky fields and get them back, to get them up to snuff or up to spec where they should be. And I shouldn't have done that, but I was really thinking John Deere would, keep their timeline. And unfortunately they didn't, but Kubota stepped up to the bat and took care of us. So with that being said, I will keep everybody posted on all this Kubota equipment and how we're liking it and what we dislike. I did the review of the 057 at 170 hours, and I'll do one incrementally on that piece of equipment. And then I'm going to do incremental videos on what we like and what we don't like on this M5091. Now, if there's something you want to see too that I hadn't covered, just let us know in the comments. We'll do our best to make a video showing something. That's a lot of information and half the stuff I'm still trying to figure out because we've only had this about 4 days now. So ask away. We'll see if we can't cover it for you. And then, hopefully you consider Kubota. But long story short, I will keep you posted on everything with the Kubota and our adventures with it going forward. I know the dealer has our back, and we're working with Kubota of Chattanooga. Not that they sponsor me or nothing, but you can see it on my hat there. And they have been great to work with so far on the zero turn and the 057, and I don't expect anything short of that on this M5. They're always just a phone call away, and I'm sure they'll take care of us if we are in a pinch. So that, that's half the battle, getting a dealership that will stand behind you, let alone a manufacturer. So I guess just to wrap up the video, not that I'm trying to run John Deere in the dirt, but I am pretty upset with John Deere for the time being. And maybe one day I'll get over it and we'll have more John Deere equipment here. And next year you're probably going to see some of this John Deere equipment I'm talking about. And we'll do overviews of those pieces of equipment too. Not that I'm trying to advertise for John Deere, Kubota, or none of them, but we're covering everything on our farm. And, the ups, downs, good, bad, whatever it is. You're seeing a farm from complete scratch to finished product and what it takes and, the work, and a lot of it you don't see because it's not on camera, but I'm doing better about filming more and trying to get in front of the camera more and not being monotone as much as my wife says. She always says I need to not be as monotone on these videos. Show some expression like I do in normal life. But it's a little stressful being in front of a camera. But going forward, you will see a baler from John Deere and you'll see the cutter from John Deere, just because that's what we have now and we've already sunk the money into them. But yeah, as far as new acquisitions from John Deere will not be happening for the near term. And hopefully, this relationship we have with Kubota continues, and it'll be a long one. And, if we're doing good, Kubota's going to do good because that's where we're going to be buying all of our equipment. But till next video, thank you for watching, and comment down below anything you want to see, and we'll see if we can cover it. But we appreciate you watching. See you next video.